Just got off a coaching client call with a client who just got ghosted. She's 58. Yep, it happens at all ages. And she had signs very early on that he was a dismissive avoidant, which not a big fan of the labels, but I get that kind of, there's patterns of behavior we can put a label on. And about 2 to 3 months into their relationship now, he's just ghosted her. And she has had a very hot, cold relationship with him, a very push-pull, as is typical of anxious and avoidant. And she's been devastated this past week, like really, really heartbroken over this. And her brain has been spiraling in the wrong direction, right? In a really heavy, negative thought pattern cycle. And it's been scaring her a little bit. So she was like, I'm so glad we have this call today, because my anxiety is through the roof. So the reason why your anxiety was through the roof, she's in my Self-Aware Army program, so she's got some skills and tools to kind of work through and tolerate the emotions of heartbreak. But she said today he's coming back from a business trip. She knew that today was the day he was coming back, so he's going to be back in town. And so she is just anxious that, is he going to reach out? Is he not going to reach out? And, I know the feeling, like you're watching the clock, like, okay, well, maybe his flight's landed. Okay, well, maybe he's at baggage claim. Okay, I think he's getting into the Uber right now. Okay, well, he should be at home. Okay, now he's going to unpack. Well, he's going to relax for a little bit. But like, why isn't he texting me? Even though he hasn't messaged her in over a week. Right? Like if he hasn't messaged you in over a week, why now? Maybe he was waiting, right, to come home before we had a talk, and just kind of building out those stories. And so her anxiety was just every time her phone went off, every time, she's constantly checking her phone. Been there, suffering. That is choosing suffering. And I said, why aren't we blocking him? She's like, I would just never do that. Like, it's not, he's a bad guy. Like, and I just would never want anybody to do that for me. I'm like, hold on. What do you think blocking means? It's not a big old F you to that person, although it can be, right? It's reclaiming your power over your emotions. Right now, your emotional state is dependent on whether your phone lights up and says his name or not. That's giving away your power. You are now hyper vigilant and like on constant eggshells of like, is he going to text? Is he going to text? And what that's doing is your inner child is going, am I lovable? Am I lovable? Am I lovable? Am I lovable? God, that sucks. That's not a fun place to be. But guess what? When you block him, you can guarantee he won't text you. I mean, yes, they have ways of going about that, not necessarily on your phone, but sure, they could email, they could show up, whatever, right? You are taking your power back that, hey, it's not okay I was treated like this. 0% chance that that's okay. There is no excuse. And she even said, there is not anything, even if he reached out today, there's not a single thing he could say that would make me want to bring him back into my life. Like, I am done. Okay, go block him then, right? Take your power back so that your nervous system is not waiting for a bomb to drop where you have to be prepared to handle whatever emotional swing he's going to put you in. So take your power back, block him. And so I said, at least on this call, for the rest of this call, give your nervous system a break where you can just focus on you and me having this conversation without constantly being like, is he going to text? Is he going to text? So I had her go block him on the call. And as she's blocking him, she's like this, like her shoulders are up and like she's just like, whoo. I said, I want you to breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. Do it again. And this time as you're breathing out, I want you to say, I'm taking my power back. So she did. Oh, it was so good. That's what blocking someone does. You take your power back. It's not having anything to do with them or, whether they might feel bad or like rejected or God, how would it feel to be blocked? Fuck all that. They lose access to you because they didn't earn the access to you in the first place. They did something shitty. It's okay for you to remove access of yourself. Your love, your access, your presence is a fucking gift. Okay? Not everybody deserves to have access to it. It should be earned, which is probably how we got into this position in the first place. So she ultimately said towards the end of the call, she's like, I'm so glad I blocked him. Yeah, like he shouldn't have access to me. Like that, he doesn't deserve me. And that's where things started to shift. Look, we have 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. We do. And a lot of those thoughts are the same thoughts every day because we're creatures of habit and we don't have a whole bunch of new stimuli in our world. We wake up on the same side of bed, usually have our same cup of coffee and a very similar breakfast and the same commute to work and the same, TikTok things and like all the things, right? We don't have a whole lot of new stimuli. So our thought patterns, right, are pretty much the same and they start looping. And so our brain starts to go identify evidence outside of us to figure out why we don't feel good. right? And that's where we have those thought loops start to go in the negative direction because we have no new stimuli. And a lot of all my work is doing is shifting perspectives. We're not changing a damn thing in your outside world for the most part. We're changing how you view the world to find a belief, a thought, a viewpoint, or perspective that serves you to feel better. It's not that hard. It takes practice. It takes understanding. It takes like support to get out of your head. And so, yeah, all we did was perspective shift. So nothing changed with her and the ghoster, right? But she got her power back by the end of the session. And she was like, I'm so glad I had this call. We worked through some exercises and some tools to address the nervous system. She had a lot of pent up anger, rightfully so. Anger's a healthy emotion, ladies. It really is, right? Gentlemen, for you too, just as long as we're not projecting it onto people. When we're in a safe container, let the fucking anger out. And I'll give you the tool. I told her to go grab a towel or a sweatshirt and you just start wringing it. I put on some like angsty music and we did some deep breaths. And you start grunting and you growl and you scream and you cry and you scream profanities as if that person was here, and you get that energy moving. You start shaking it out. The more you can get that energy moving, the less power it has over you. And we did about, 3 or 4 minutes of that. And then we calmed it down, right? Got agency back over our emotions, over our feelings. My love is worth protecting. It's not to be given to the lowest bidder. It is a privilege to get access to me. God, I love so well. And I'm only going to start sharing that with people who appreciate it. And I'm not just going to keep giving it away, hoping somebody will value me. I'm going to make sure that they value me before they get access to the full potential of what I have to give. And that's how we kind of ended the session. She felt great. She's got some tools and some skills. We do breath work quite regularly inside of the Self-Aware Army, like full-on hour-long sessions. So gave her some tools that she's going to do a session, I think tomorrow morning when she's taking the day off for Mental Health Day. Love that. And she's going to start moving the energy out of her nervous system so she can start to reclaim her power and heal from heartbreak. So if you have any questions about that process or you need support in healing from heartbreak, hit me up in the DMs. DMs are open. And my name's Tara, and I'm on a mission to create a self-aware army. Lonely in these self-aware streets. All right, go have a good day.